Hi, welcome. I'm Hale Rose from ER Technologies, and we are a NetSuite Solutions partner here in Irvine, California. Welcome to our webinar series in smart manufacturing. I want to present to you today how you can use AI to deliver smart manufacturing. If you are a small or mid-sized manufacturer, by now you must have heard the rave of AI technology and wonder how perhaps you can leverage this technology to really improve your processes, increase your profitability, your productivity, increase in efficiency, increase automation and quality, and even bridge the sales gap in your workforce. We want to present to you today some insights that you can adopt to model selective outcomes to determine where you can take immediate advantage of this new technology. Now, for years, we've helped manufacturers implement ERP systems. But today, ERP alone is not enough. That's why we're building a smart manufacturing AI platform, a plug-and-play platform of intelligent AI agents that support your frontline factory operations. Here in this session, you'll see how we're using AI to reshape manufacturing and provide significant ROI benefits. It's important to understand that the reshaping of this manufacturing can take for the shape of how you detect product defects in real time, monitor, analyze intelligent data to prevent downtime and alert your team to early warning systems that you can predict possible unplanned downtime and avoid it. We are rolling out smart manufacturing AI platform, and we welcome co-partners to join us in our early access rollout plan to test this platform in your factory in live conditions. Let's dive in. Let's talk about what this is all about. Now, let me introduce myself and my team. I'm Hannah Rose, and I'm the chief consultant here at ER Technologies. I'm also the CEO of the company. But along with my team, we have over 2 decades of manufacturing experience and 100 years of collective experience across manufacturing industries implementing ERP, working with manufacturers, and I've developed quite a bit of experience in this area. Now, I want to go back, way back when I first started out so that you can understand my background and where I'm coming from. I first started out in manufacturing as a young MBA graduate, working for a company called General Electric, a big company you probably may have heard of. And the surprising thing I walked into was a production meeting. And that's where I got my cutting edge skills starting to hone and create. So happens at the time that I was recruited under a high level executive management program specifically targeted for manufacturing and manufacturing operations. And I walked into my first meeting where there was a big, huge town hall type situation of a meeting and didn't know really what to expect. All I know is that expectations are extremely high because, to my understanding, the entire GE Aerospace division was down on shipping products and could not ship to their customer, either military or commercial. Turns out the problem had to do with their printed circuit board assembly area that was having some serious quality effects, serious quality issues. And this circuit board area provide products to uh, the munitions, provide aerospace, defense areas, defense division, thermal engines, etc., all over. And it was a key division that had to be solved that they were grappling with. Understanding this situation and walking into the room, I hear all the gossip, and suddenly eyes turned to me, and unknowingly, my boss had picked me and says, "Hey, I'm going to be the person that we've given this responsibility to turn this entire process around." I got picked on. I hear You can see the eyes and hear the word says, give it to that kid. He's got 6 months to do it. You have to turn it around, kid. You got only 6 months to get it done. You're Jack's boy, so you're a high pot. You have to get it done. Well, it was a first big challenge and my foray thrusted into manufacturing. Another lesson I learned along the way was I worked with another company called Intel, building memory chips, and microprocessors. There was a concept called Moore's Law, where you build chips based on what you call an X factor for annual improvement. And what this means is that every year, every 12 months, you have to improve the performance of the chip by minimum twice the performance and half the footprint size. So, as a daunting challenge, this was a part of a design that goes into the product building that had to be deployed from a manufacturing standpoint in building this chip. I learned here the increased capability of striving to establish a goal where you X factor minimum 2x and up your performance improvement on an annual basis. I think back on these two lessons here as we were developing this AI platform because these lessons have a great opportunity in how we are going to deploy and build the AI platform. With my manufacturing background and over 2 decades of manufacturing experience and my team, I think we can do this because of our specialized expertise, and we would like to transfer and scale this specifically by industry. So here we are in our manufacturing world to be able to deploy AI with a significant improvement across our processes. Now, the platform itself is an easy to deploy tool that you can move from concept to operations. And we want to capitalize not only on our experience, but also be able to use our smart tools and capabilities that we've developed over the years under the guidance of smart manufacturing and rules concept to determine and drive a very fast one-click automation process where these AI modules are going to generate outcomes and across various applications. Now, we are looking at different types of manufacturers with different systems because we'd like to make it agnostic starting out, but eventually we'll be able to scale specifically if you have ERP systems. We are integrators of Oracle, NetSuite, Odoo, so we can adjust for any ERP systems to integrate our AI agent platform with to work alongside. The full platform will have a capability of we have identified 12 agents that we want to be able to build. But for this rollout, the scope will be limited to about seven. Seven that we've determined that we call the Magnificent Seven. We want to be able to tackle predictive maintenance. So you have the opportunity to analyze IoT data and predict equipment failures, uh, reduce unplanned downtime, looking at your quality systems where you can use vision detection for product defects and hopefully reduce your waste in a very short, rapid time frame on the AI analysis. We also want to be able to tackle the supply chain optimization process for predicting and managing demands on inventory and potential disruptions. Then we also want to take a look at your shop floor factory workload and redirect decisions to avoid things like bottlenecks and so forth. Then the big challenge is always inventory, how to manage the stock levels and stockouts and carrying costs of inventory. And also from the procurement side of sourcing with supplier information, how you can reduce costs and become more profitable with the wise and your procurement and spend policies. And final piece, not to mention, is from a finance perspective, how we tie things together. You want to be able to have a real-time oversight and control of your financial ROI. and intelligence across your production process. So we built a CFO dashboard for profitability strategy, if you can understand what that means. So let's dive into a little bit more of what this AI platform is all about. Now, we understand and we know in today's climate that manufacturing is under very extreme pressure for performance and deliverables. There's all kinds of pitfalls, shortcomings not that does not optimize the manufacturing process, company by company, process by process, etc. But what if you could use AI to help you predict, prevent, and become more profitable starting today? We all know these areas: the labor gaps, the skills shortage, quality compliance risks, unplanned downtime of equipment, and manual operations that suffer insufficient automation for speed and efficiency. So we believe it's time to stop reacting and start predicting. So we would like to show how AI agents can improve things like yield, uptime, compliance with no coding or hardware upgrades. We've built this strictly as a no code, low code software approach to be able to deploy this smart platform. We want to be able to demonstrate a couple of use cases today that we can help early adopters reduce downtime on a cost per unit basis using this platform. So we would want to show a behind the scenes look at the platform we've built so far and so forth. This platform is going to, with your help, scale up to a more robust deployment across the 12 rudimental areas of manufacturing. It may not stop there because it has a capability to scale, but it's going to take some time and effort. But with a pilot program, with your help, we can build this agent and roll out. So today we want to demonstrate what we can do in two areas of the platform so you get an idea of what the concept and the approach and strategy is all about. We want to look at quality, and we want to look at equipment monitoring to drive predictive maintenance plate processes. So as we go forward, I want to invite certain people that we think will have an impact in directing and building this, and that can benefit from working together in building a platform specifically for manufacturing that you can scale and deploy into your operation in a seamless manner. We want to look at how CFOs and CIOs are driving transformation, digital transformation in their operation with the goal of increasing and improving ROI. We want to invite plant managers and operation directors who are seeking smarter performance in their process. We also want to invite the quality, production, supply chain managers who are responsible for scheduling and executing the workflow of the operation, and also not to mention the smart manufacturing leaders who are exploring AI so they can do more innovation inside the operations of their process. Now let's take a look at the platform that we built or are building, okay? It's going to be the smart manufacturing platform that covers about 12 agents, at least to start out. Now, as we said before, it's no code, it's plug and play platform, and it's designed specifically around small, mid-sized manufacturing operations so that we can control the complexity of how this is built. We want to focus on frontline operations, quality and equipment maintenance. It's going to be a seamless process that will be able to work integrated with your ERP system, your legacy factory systems, and other automation systems that you may have already in place. So if currently you're experiencing where your factory teams are stuck reacting to problems, these might be opportunities where you may want to consider what if AI could help you predict, prevent, and profit starting today. So with these 7 areas, we have minimum viable operations for predictive maintenance, quality control and inspection, supply chain optimization, production schedule and capacity planning. However, there are more capabilities. And if we look at the other 12 agents, we're talking about process optimization. We obviously are going to include procurement and inventory management as well. But there is on the table, we've designed options and opportunity for robotics and automation, demand forecasting, product design and development, energy management, remote monitoring and control of your process, all with being driven with the underpinnings of a CFO dashboard that can drive the cost management aspects of all your entire manufacturing operations. So this is the concept of the platform that we're building, that we have these rudimentary agents that can be applied, not just as single agents, but as multiple teams of agents working in these different areas, in these different departments to kind of build out the scale and scope of the capability of the platform. Now, as we get into it, I want to give you an idea of what the live demo is going to at least cover to some degree today. But the essence of it is we will be taking the use cases of what can happen in the maintenance area, for example. We're looking at covering different areas with the agent set that we have, and we have one agent per area for now, and we can build out and scale with coordinated agents attacking and working together. The manufacturing agents we have, and we also have the quality agents working alongside. And you will see how where we're going to define the opportunities for them to work with other agents in other areas as part of the manufacturing operation. But in general, it's designed in a way that you'll have a common dashboard where things will be looked at and analyzed, and as we say, it's low code and no code. And then also looking at what machine learning is all about. So for the concept of the equipment agent concept, it's all about how you integrate the areas surrounding maintenance and equipment management in your factory and your operation. The goal is to understand how we can utilize the agile and multidisciplinary team of agents working together. In addition, this might be integrating with humans as well. Now, if we take this a little deeper to kind of analyze what we're trying to do, on the equipment maintenance side, it's all about understanding the hours used and mean time between failures of components on a machine and equipment so that you can avert and predict unplanned downtime. So you can avoid that and mitigate that. So the concept of the equipment agent is to be able to determine when scheduled repairs and maintenance need to be done. How can you detect possible upcoming failures and avoid those, and perform your scheduling, and so that the goal is your uptime and upkeep of your planned equipment in your factory that runs your operation, and so forth. The goal is to avoid disruption by programming to look at just results and how we can accomplish this. Then we're looking at another use case situation where we're going to consider another quality-oriented situation where we have a wave sorter machine that is in a production with soldering circuit assembly boards across a wave sorter machine to determine the outcome. Here's a more rapid, high volume concept where we'll be looking at using cameras to determine the parts per year volume of these solder joints, of counting defects and capturing defects and resolving situations on the fly. So you can guess that we may have a highly efficient process with cameras deployed to be able to have AI agents making decisions to manage your quality control. It's about analyzing the images of the solder joints and the quality of the solder joints to be able to classify any types of defect and then detail them in a report, and can provide recommendations of the process to be able to maintain the technical requirements of quality and so forth. So these are the two live cases that we're going to look at today. Just want to point out one more thing. This event is important because we see a real AI action on the factory processes, and we're looking at rolling this out as a pilot site for the upcoming platform rollouts across all 12 agents. We want to be able to have small, medium companies compete with top manufacturers to achieve significant productivity results, at least minimal anyway. So we welcome you to our profit clinic where we can do an analysis and determine how to uncover hidden costs and operational bottlenecks and the profit killing inefficiencies that may plague your operations today by prescribing smart solutions using AI. So now we're looking for partners who can join us in an early access to be able to develop the capabilities of these AI agents. And we want to do this in a live environment so we have practical use cases, live use cases that can establish a credibility and understanding and educate as to how we can use AI in a manufacturing situation. The predictive maintenance, the quality control aspect, and the supply chain and production scheduling, inventory management, procurement, and the CFO dashboard is what it's all about. So these are the areas that we want to be able to have partners such as yourself helping us to deploy and testing in a live environment because it's going to be a scalability production of how we apply this, how we do this, and it's going to be tested in real time without disruption on your part, where you'll be able to establish live use cases that you can pinpoint to see the direct result as we build this platform out. So we want to be able to deploy this. We think it's 30 days should be a good way, short time to be able to get this done for any company that we're doing this for, at least in a minimum viable platform that you can scale and grow with. We're doing it's devoid of disruption, and we're doing the heavy lifting. In some cases, one of the reasons for joining the platform, the pilot program, is that you'd enjoy the setup and support during the trial and deployment and begin your AI journey. You'll also be part of the published use cases that determine the success, along with our team and your team working together. And also, it's devoid of disruption to your current systems to be able to boost these kinds of rewards and productivity as we go. And it also gets you involved in your AI journey so that you can understand where to go and not be so daunted by AI itself. Now, we have developed what we call a business value roadmap to uh, attack this process. And what we want to do is to build an assessment. We'll first look at depending on the areas that you have, and we'll look at that in a minute, is to collect your data, understand what it means, and visualize it contextually so that we can understand the data and where the prediction and control levels to arrive at the kind of outcomes that you'll be looking for or you can accomplish. And what we've done with this business value map data is to assess the risk in your operation versus the cost versus the reward analysis. So we're looking at your revenue, the risk, the areas, and ROI, and where are your pain points and how they stack up. So we've also established what we call a heat map of performance of the areas in your operation, and can determine by priority where it best fits for you to start your AI journey. Analyze your backlog priority so that we can identify quickly the areas for the greatest wins and to assess the best outcome result for this in a rapid time frame. We want to tackle a goal to have a minimum uptime of efficiency and gains within less than 2 to 3 weeks to 30 days, etc. So it will be a rapid process defined when we look at taking sample use cases within your current factory or operations to be able to determine this. Now, what you'll see in this demo is that, as we said, we're tackling agents. We want to show you a sample of what we have as a minimum viable product currently that we already have developed within a quality situation and within your equipment maintenance area to ensure planned uptime. So we're looking at a quality inspector AI agent and how you can detect product defects in real time, and your equipment agent and how you can prevent and alert and avoid downtime of equipment on a practical factory floor. So this is how you can join us to assist in this rollout of this platform within your factory. Now, let's take a look at the demo itself. We have here our platform of all the agents built out so far. So if you look at this list, we will tackle the equipment agents. We have that here, and you also have the solder inspector here. So let's take a look at the equipment first. And this is Mike, the equipment agent that we've developed. And as you can tell, an AI agent is built out with certain characteristics. He has a role, he has a defined task of what to do in his general duties as an equipment agent, right? So his role is like his job title of what he does and what his responsibility. He also has instructions on what his job is all about. And he also has some specific criteria that he will follow to be able to determine how to perform his job. Now, this agent has a set of tools that he will use. We have created these set of tool set for Mike to begin with uh, in this platform. So he's able to schedule, he's able to create purchase requisitions, and he's able to create work orders. And this is what he does to be able to manage acquiring spare parts for equipment and creating work orders and assigning technicians for the work to be done on scheduled repairs and everything. But he doesn't stop there. He also has the capability of coordinating with other agents, such as the buyer or the buyer agent, or if you have it's a human, etc. Or and also the production planner, because scheduling has to be done in concert with production schedule for a factory. So he has a knowledge of how he goes about his job, of what to do, and he has tools to do it. He also has to have the knowledge of what's going on with the equipment and machine inside the factory, and knowing who the suppliers are, what is the mean time between failures of certain parts and everything. So he's a educated, high powerful AI agent with tools and knowledge at his disposal. And you can see here, these are some of the components that is used to develop the agent. A prompt is a description of how to guide to develop the agent. Tools are what he uses, and the knowledge is the knowledge base of what he has in terms of education, certification, qualifications, etc., on how he knows his job and the details of it. And obviously, there is also trigger points on how and when to trigger in terms of how he communicates to be able to determine who to coordinate with throughout his job, etc., and so forth. So this is an overview of pretty much what Mike's knowledge, tools, capability is all about. And if we get into the action to be able to make him operate, we can put him in an environment where we will say have an discussion with him about his job, what needs to be done. So let's take a look at an assignment we've given Mike and see, Mike, I want you to, now let's roll this up here for a little bit. First conversation is to say, hey, Mike, I'd like you to prepare a repair schedule for the entire plant for July, for the month of July, for example. And Mike will go out and he has performed significant steps very quickly in a very short time. He can tell for the entire factory what's going on with all the machines under his assignment. He's come back with this report that says preventive schedule maintenance for July is as follows and is required for this plant. He's sought out back that there are two machines, this oven and this wave sorter machine, that will need scheduled maintenance by July 5th and July 16th, respectively. He's also identified who the suppliers are of parts, spare parts needed that might have to be purchased to be able to complete the repair to make sure the machines are going to be serviced properly. And he's also confirmed in your own inventory where the required parts are if you have spare parts on hand already. And if you don't, then he's going to go out and have to purchase them because he's already investigating inventory levels for spare parts for all the machines inside your inventory operation. And he can now create work orders to proceed and purchase requests to supply. And if you continue, so we continuously having a conversation to say, hey, if there are any parts, get them purchased. So he knows how to create a requisition. We know he has the tools and capability to do that. So this is just a conversation that you have progressing through the assignment with the agent to be able to do things. Of course, you can give him a full direction and he executes the entire thing all on his own and so forth. He's doing this based on past experience, what he's done over his history. So he gets more intelligent day by day. The more conversations you have with him and the more tasks he's performed, he never forgets anything. So at the end of the day, he's come back with giving you a report, out of stock spare parts, what they are, checking your inventory, and so forth. And he's done a very thorough job to determine, and also to determine what actions to be taken with what suppliers for what spare parts to be done to get these machines repaired. Now, and also what's not here that we didn't do to show is how he's coordinating with the buyer, how he's coordinating with the production planner on the shop floor to make sure that the planner is informed of possible downtime for or where the machines are going to have to be repaired. And he's also given timeline when they need to be done based on hours of use, etc., to be able to predict downtime so that the production planner can schedule his factory load and avoid any downtime possibilities. So the benefit of the thorough analysis is to be able to inform other players or other agents or even humans inside the production factory operations to be able to determine how to plan, how to schedule, and avoid downtime. Now, as we go forward right here, we can see that he's done a thorough job to determine what is going to be purchased, what is going to be repaired. So there's a full documentation of the job to be executed and the dates when they have to be done. So there's a list of purchase requisition, what are the parts, when they need to be received. And he knows that when these parts come in from the buyers, that he has to make sure when they are received into your warehouse so you can schedule the appointed work orders for the work to be done on all the machines. And he's assigned the work orders. He's acquired the proper technician. He's able to determine the technician who can do the repair, who's capable with the skill sets, because he's seen how qualified they are and they're certified. And he can also check their availability and schedule to make sure they're going to be available to get the work done by a certain date, as usual. So it's a complete thorough report that Mike has done to be able to offset and schedule, offset downtime on factory floor machines and schedule a work order with qualified technicians to be done at a certain time without disruption to the entire factory and their operation and their production process in building products. Now, I think this gives you a very good thorough analysis of the performance of what this agent can do. And, we can also scale this for him to be able to work with other agents, or he can work with other plans or multiple plans simultaneously. All you have to do is to be able to give him the direction, the knowledge, the tools, and the education to be able to get it done. Now, this is an overview of Mike and his capabilities. Let's go and take a look at other agents. So we get back to our list of agents here, and we want to take a look at the quality agents who's doing sorter inspection. So we have that agent here, and we call him solid sorter inspector agent. And as with Mike in the equipment, he's given a role and an objective and a description of what his job description is all about. What are the expectations? What is his method of analysis for this specific area and expertise of what he has to do? He has to be trained in terms of his knowledge and sorter defects. He understands based on product by customer or product by compliance, industry standards for height, for quality and failure, etc. And he knows how to apply. He has the knowledge and certification, if you will, of how to go about assessing defects in sorter quality in circuit boards, because circuit boards differ in terms of quality from one customer to the next, or under certain specification based on what's applied for the product, the customer, etc. So he has the knowledge of how to identify critical defects, major defects, minor defects, and be able to separate and discern the differences between this. So he's able to do a complete inspection, determine the findings, etc., and also provide resolution improvement recommendations on how to resolve those defects. And remember, he's got the talent and the education and tools to be able to define what he's looking for. So if you put him in a run situation where we want to be able to see how he goes about improving his job, and if we take a quality inspection request where he starts to look at products that are running across the factory in high volume, and he can track products, say circuit boards. We have these three requests in. So based on what he sees from the vision cameras or by products, by serial number of the circuit product, cards product, he can detect what's going on as far as the solder joints. And he's doing this in real time for the board, say coming right off the wave solder machine, to be able to determine this. So he's doing it at a very rapid rate, which you can understand is a very daunting challenge if you have to do it manually. So by serial number, he's able to look at each product or circuit board, so to begin with, and he's able to determine critical defects. He can give you a report on how many joints per board that he has. And he can say, hey, I can see one has a critical defect. There's major defects here. He has a count quantity for those and minor defects. And he does an overall assessment and he says, hey, on this circuit board, it's a failure because I have these significant defects. So you can identify his findings right here. He's able to look at the findings in detail by location, coordinates on the board, and tell you exactly what the problem is. Not just that there is a problem, but what the problem is, what specific solder joint by coordinate, by component, by location, and even the reason why these defects are defects the way he is, because he's trained. He's understand what the requirement is if you have to rework because of improper fluxing or pace amount, etc. So he can give you details of why the failure is a failure, not just that there is a failure. So you can get him to discern and identify these, and he'll be able to give you the recommendations on how to improve each product, by particle, by solder joint, by serial number, to determine who is qualified to do the work, how the work has to be done to meet the specs required for this to be a quality repair job that's done. And he's doing this in high-speed volume. Now, one of the beauty of these agents is that they can work 24/7. They're very high speed and can work with high volume. So it's a matter of how you scale them and how and what you want to give to them in terms of capabilities to be able to get work done. And this is a big advantage in terms of building efficiency and assigning your skills gap. So this is the high level sample of the capabilities of these AI agents. Let's continue with where we left off in our presentation here. So what we're looking for is for you to partner with us as an early adopter in building out this AI platform. We have a limited number of spots for the adopters because we only have a team that with a certain bandwidth, the human bandwidth, the human bandwidth capabilities. So, but we want to be able to work with a lot more manufacturers to be able to roll this platform out so they can benefit on the values of what the AI platform can do for them in their operations. So we'll scale it eventually and hopefully integrate it with your ERP system if that's what you have, how you can get that done. But first we look at because of the limited number of seats for early adopters that we want to work with to build a use case out and help you assist on your AI journey. And there are only three options that we can look at depending on the approach that you want to take with this. Whether it's going to be done for you, augmentation by with working with your SMEs and your staff. And then we can also educate and train you and work alongside together if you want to do it for yourself. So you'll have help and support in establishing your goals and so forth. So it's a matter of reviewing your production line setup and your pain points and going through the business value roadmap assessment to be able to determine where you want to start and develop a pilot plan on how to get you live in 30 days or less with with developing this platform. So what we would like you to do is book a call, and so we can start the number of rollout site, as we said, is a limited number starting out now that we want to be able to work with. So the sooner you do this, the better. And anybody else that we will put on a wait list to be able to work with for opportunities coming up. And you can determine the timing based on your own pace that you want to go at. So give us a call. We can have an assessment and determine your situation. And you can determine and make a decision the timing of your start, when you want to start, how do you want to start this, and we will be happy to work with you on your AI journey in not only building out our platform, but a platform that you can live and work with, that you can deploy in your manufacturing operation as you go for this process. So, just so you know, the first thing is the book call. And so you can be part of the early selection and partnering process with us. And this is the number. You can give us a call here and book a session at this Calendly operation, one of myself or my team, and we will be able to work with you to assess the beginning of your AI journey. Now, we do have resources that we work with so you can learn and develop your capability with AI, how it develops. We have a YouTube channel. We encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel for information on your AI journey that you may need. We'll be posting videos and updating. Also on LinkedIn, we have a newsletter, a smart manufacturing newsletter, where we have different information coming up that's going to post different value of incidents, stories, experiences that you can click on. And we also have a self-assessment online if you want to do a self-assessment on your own to determine where you are and then determine how you want to approach your AI journey. But do give us a call. Take a look at the resources that we have, and we'll be happy to talk to you about your AI journey. Where do you want to start? When do you want to start? And how do you want to start? So you can be part of the development of the platform that is dedicated for manufacturing with this new technology. So with that, I hope to hear from you as soon as possible and try to get on the limited wait list for early adopters. We're going to be working on the immediate five. So we'll hope to see you and start working with you as soon as possible. So give us a call and you can join us on your AI journey starting today. Thank you. Cool.